So to get started, let's actually talk a little bit more about that tool that we'll be using today. And it's called S3 Account Search, and it is publicly available on GitHub. In order to get started with this tool, you will need to install it either with pip, or if you prefer, you can also use pipx. Once you do have it installed, you can go to your terminal and you can verify by typing in S3 Account Search. But first, I need to go back and I need to configure my credentials. So I'll go back to my lab page and I'll grab the AWS Access Key ID as well as the secret access key, and I'll configure my CLI. And once we've done that, we can verify what we're authenticated as, and we can do that with STS getCaller identity, and it will confirm that we are authenticated as a user. The tool requires that we use an IAM role instead of a user. Luckily for us though, we had discovered a role in this account during our initial stages of enumeration, and the role was named S3 Access Images, which we can now retrieve from this environment by using the list roles command, and then we'll query and filter for that specific role. What's most important here is we're going to need this role ARN. This is going to be the value that we submit to that S3 Account Search tool in order for it to do its job. I just want to take a look at the policy itself. The reason I'm going to do that is because it will tell us exactly what bucket we're going after. So I will use the list roles policies command, and we'll see the policy name itself, which we can now use in order to retrieve that policy. And we can do that with the command that's being pre-populated. And we'll see that we have S3 list bucket and get object permissions for this image.cyberlabs.io bucket. This obviously tells us what the bucket name and ARN values are, which we're going to need in just a second. But as you can see, ARNs for S3 do not include account IDs. We've got a couple of approaches that we can take with the S3 Account Search tool. We can either pass in a profile name, or we can just pass in a role ARN. So let me go ahead and start writing out this command so you can see what I mean. So we can either use profile and then the profile name like this, or instead we can do S3 Account Search, and then we can paste in our role ARN. And then after that, we either need to specify a bucket name or a bucket object. I will copy this value, add a space here, and then we'll do S3:// and pass in the bucket name there. But that's it. That's all we need. Now let's go ahead and press enter and let's see what happens. It's not going to take too long though, but as you can see here, we're already getting some results, and it'll keep going until it has all of the different digits. I'm going to let this finish for a second, and then I'm going to blur out the answer because this is going to be the CTF flag that you can submit to our lab environment back on the lab page.